Hey there, I'm Lily O'Reilly. This is Lily O'Reilly Reviews, and today we're going to be tackling a Ko-Fi commissioned topic on body hair. So let's get to it, huh? Okay, so I know it's been a while since we've done one of these, but on my Ko-Fi at ko-fi.com/Lily O'Reilly, you can frequently commission videos on certain topics that you would like me to cover on my channel. So, I had a lovely fellow commission a topic on body hair, beauty standards regarding it, styles, types, gender variants, work versus personal. He just kind of wants me to run down all of it. Now, I've touched on the topic of body hair on this channel before, and my original video can be summed up as, we are mammals. A key component of being a mammal is that one produces hair. Not just head, hair. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. Now, with the understanding that there's going to be that basis in mind, let's do this, huh? Okay. 1. Maintenance. How does one take care of hair? Well, at minimum, hair should be washed, possibly conditioned, trimmed if desired, removed if desired. Those are your options. Now, if you want to remove the hair, you have options. There's always shaving, which is where you take a blade and scrape it against the skin to cut the hair off at the level of the skin. This is fine, except for the fact that it can cause razor burn and ingrown hairs, and due to the fact that you're cutting your shaft of the hair at an angle, it'll be pointy when it grows out. If you have dark hair, you can see it underneath the skin if you're, pale like me. If you do not want to see the hair under the skin, there's waxing or sugaring. Waxing is where you put a wax on the skin, you put a paper or a cloth on top, and then you rip it off, and it yanks the hairs out, including the roots. You get a longer period before the hair starts to grow back. It is painful, but it's a trade-off. Sugaring is similar. It uses a thick paste made of sugar and God knows what, and you rub it on and then pull it off with your hand, or you have someone else do it. I can't do it to myself. It works like sugaring in that it takes the hair out, but because it doesn't adhere to your skin, you're less likely to get your skin pulled off and be tender and uncomfortable the way that waxing does. You have chemical options like Nair, which is a chemical that you put on your skin, you let it sit, and it dissolves the proteins in the hair, I'm pretty certain, and then you wipe it off and all the hair comes with it, and it takes a while to grow back. You can do electrolysis or laser, which is where with electrolysis, it's a thin needle that's put into the hair follicles that zaps the hair at the follicle and basically cauterizes the follicle and kills it so the hair can never come back. With laser treatment, it's a larger piece of equipment that is moved in a pattern to zap hairs. And the way that laser works is it will kill dark hair, brown, black, dark hair. It won't touch red, blonde, or gray. Now, I've had laser done. I've had everything from my hip bones to my ankles lasered. And it did not take out any of my blonde or red hairs. Luckily, a lot of my body hair is darker, so it cleared up okay. But the thing that you have to be aware of is as you grow older and you experience hormonal changes, your body can sometimes just be like, there's a hair follicle. There's a hair follicle. And depending on the package, where you get it from, etc., you might have to go back and get touched up to kill the hairs that are there. Very stressful. Not a fan. Especially because when I went on T, The testosterone made my body go full Oprah. You get a follicle, and you get a follicle, and you can have some too. And I got furry, which meant more lasering to catch up with it. And then there's always the option of keep the hair, trim it to whatever length or shape you prefer, and that's fine. So there's your hair management options. There are quite a few. Now, in terms of styles, go wild. Like, honestly, when it comes to styling, you can dye your hair, you can trim your hair, you can shave patterns in your hair. Especially pubic styles are a huge thing, like stripes or hearts or stars or clovers and blue moons. Like, I don't know, if you feel like putting it into your hair, you can. Like, I have a side shave. A lot of people will shave designs into their side shave. I've seen guys shave them into their beards. It's nifty. But styles are a full gamut from hella furry yeti to bald like cyborg. It's whatever makes you happy. Now, types of hair. Easy. You have head hair. Scalp hair is the one that is primarily affected negatively by testosterone. High testosterone levels can trigger the pattern baldness that hits the top. I, unfortunately, was blessed with hella thick hair, so I have to shave the sides of mine so that I can have it at this length without giving myself migraines. It's a balance. Eyebrows. Everyone's eyebrows are different. Our current beauty standard is that they shouldn't meet in the middle. They can't go up too high. They can't go down too low. They shouldn't go too far off to the sides. It's a lot of work to maintain manicured eyebrows. It's a thing I do because of work. If there wasn't work, I don't know how much I would actually care to do it. This all comes down to, you should look at what society says is pretty. Look at people that society says aren't pretty, synthesize all of that in your brain, and figure out what you find aesthetically pleasing. Now, there's also facial hair. Generally speaking, the more testosterone one has in one's system, the more facial hair one will produce. I was on T for like a year. I got 2 chin hairs. That's it. One of my friends has never been on artificial T, and she's got a full peach fuzz. It's adorable. It gets darker when she's about to have her period, and it's just like, aw. But facial hair, normal for both women and men. And I'm explicitly including trans people in both categories. Now, cis people can have polycystic ovary syndrome. They can develop full beards. Cis ladies can beards. Nothing wrong with it. All the same rules apply. Remove or don't as you prefer. I have seen some hot-ass ladies with beards. Also, trans women who can't afford, don't want to go through, enjoy their beards, totally valid. Still women, facial hair is still okay. Then you have down the torso. I've met women, cis women with PCOS, the polycystic ovary syndrome, who have chest hair. It's totally normal for people of all genders to have hair around the nipples. Normal. Undersides of the breasts can frequently have hair. Nothing wrong with that. Again, remove, reduce, whatever as you prefer. For me, I remove things based on whether or not I'm going to be on camera, because for me, personally, I don't care that much. I only care when it affects money, which is something we'll deal with later. And then, of course, you have underarm hair. Now, traditionally, this is a thing that it's a men can have it, women cannot. But I, as a non-binary, funny enough, found a lot of gender euphoria in having armpit hair. And it's something that I only got to play with during quarantine because I wasn't doing in-person shoots anymore. So for me, my compromise is I have armpit hair. I trim it in the front and I trim it in the back so that it's stealth, but I really like the fact that it's there. It is that little rebellion against how feminine I have to be for work. And honestly, it's kind of pretty, you know? And there's nothing wrong with it. And for the people who say, oh my God, it's not hygienic. If you shower, if you wash yourself, and that includes washing the armpit, and you put deodorant on, not antiperspirant for me personally, because I'm allergic, but deodorant, you don't really smell any more than anyone else smells when they work out and do things. It's not some magic, disgusting thing. And if you have armpit hair and you find that it smells, try wiping yourself down with alcohol. It'll kill the bacteria that are eating the sweat and creating the smell. There are ways to mitigate it that don't necessarily involve removing the hair. And yeah, as always, trim, shape, color, whatever makes you happy. I have occasionally considered coloring mine. It's just not worth the effort. Torso hair, as I was saying. Hair on the chest, hair around the nipples, hair under the breasts. Hair on the back is also super common for people that have higher levels of testosterone. Hair on the stomach is super common. Like, I've got the line that goes from the belly button on down. As a non-binary AFAB, assigned female at birth, I was surprised to learn that not everybody has that. I didn't know until I got into filming adult content that not everyone has the belly fur. Kind of neat. Didn't know that. Which means that frequently your concept of normal is influenced by the media. Like, I and all the other women in my family had it. To me, it was normal. It wasn't until I got into the internet that I was like, oh, that's not a thing that people like. Sucks for them. I'm not doing anything about mine. Pubic hair, of course. Hair basically begins at the mons pubis, covers the labia, covers the inner thighs, goes all the way back, sometimes up to the tailbone, sometimes out to the booty cheeks. All normal. For you, it should come down to what do you find aesthetically pleasing on yourself? What feels the best to you regarding your gender? What feels the best for you in terms of cleanliness? Because, like, for me, I don't like having a lot of hair on my labia when I get my period because, you know, other period havers, they get crunchy and I'm not a fan. So for me, I keep some things trimmed, some things longer, some things I've had lasered, and it all combines to create a genital topiary that I find okay. Like, I don't have strong pubic hair feelings. But again, you figure out what the deal is for you. Now, of course, be careful if you're shaving down there, especially if you have sexual partners, because any opening in the skin is an area for germs to come in. So don't shave and then let someone go down on you immediately. Give it time for things to seal back over. And I mean, at minimum, a couple hours. Then maybe. But also, don't feel pressured to remove hair you don't want to remove if it's not affecting your income. Oh, legs and feet. I remember shaving at like 10 or 12. I stole my mom's razor and I peeled a strip right up my shin, skin and all. It was gnarly. I probably still have the scar. Now, I don't shave, but that's because I've been lasered and I get like 4 hair. Some of the girls I know shave all the time. Some of them shave seasonally. It's just to what degree does having hair under your socks or your pants bother you? Also, people who are socialized as male, you can shave. Like, it's cool. It should really come down to like you and whoever you want touching your legs, and that is the sum total of opinions that matter if it doesn't affect your income. Let's see, male versus female. We've touched on this, generally speaking, people perceived as male are allowed to have more hair. They're encouraged to have more hair. It is seen as acceptable. People perceived as female are told to basically be smooth, hairless, like freshly scalded pig carcass. It's gross. It is also a valuable tool for gender transgression because If you are on the androgynous wobble of gender, especially in your expression, especially with how you handle your body hair, it can affect the way people read your gender, for better or for worse. It's nifty. I'm not qualified to speak on it as I present lady for work. Which, actually, I'm going to take a quick digression off here for something that I found very interesting. We didn't always used to shave. This is a recent development. Shaving was so rare, and I'm going to be pulling from a Vox article that I read I will link. Shaving was so rare that in the 1920s, when a girl cut her ankle with a straight razor shaving, it was a news story. Like, it was such a, oh my God, she did what? That they ran the story in the papers. Then, because before like 1910, you only really removed hair if you were an actress or a dancer or having surgery. That was it. It was a functional choice that, generally speaking, affected your income, which is why a lot of people remove hair. Partially because, I will acknowledge, the fashions were very covered. Necklines, long lines, hemlines to the floor. I would love to revitalize some of that because I love those styles. But the hair removal is mostly focused on the face, the neck, and occasionally the forearms. Then, around 1915, the fashion started to change to more things that would show armpit. So ads started to target armpits as you want to be fashionable? You want to not have anyone question you? You should shave those. That should not have hair on it. It became a thing, but still not that much of a thing. People were not shaving all the time. And then around the 1920s, the ads would happen seasonally. You'd see, shave your legs all summer, and then they'd shut up all winter because it was cold, and then they'd do it again in the summers. Kind of like a lot of people shave. Also around the 20s, this thing happened that you might have heard of. Like, it was just a little thing called World War II. Nylon was used in parachutes. Nylon and silk were used in parachutes to the degree where they weren't making nylon stockings anymore. Why does this matter? Because nylon stockings were what you did as the hemlines crept up. You didn't want bare legs, so you would wear nylons underneath. Nylons hide your hair pretty well, especially because the fashions of the time leaned toward darker nylon. So, you're running around with a fairly short hemline, and all of a sudden, all of your nylons just got shipped off to Europe to go get involved in a multi-power skirmish. Your silk's gone too, because they need that, to the point where they were asking people to donate their spare nylons. So, total nylon shortage. It's all gone. What do? A lot of people started shaving their legs because they wanted the nylon look, the smooth look, the covered look. And they would shave their legs and paint the seam down the back. Or they would shave their legs and they actually had makeups that you could put on your legs to make them look darker, to make them look like the color of nylon, so that you would look respectable or more well-to-do. Now this is where they got us, because that's when ads really started to push you want to be out in public? Oh, you want to wear that skirt? You don't want to dress like your mother? You should shave it. By the 40s, shaving was considered mainstream. Leg shaving was absolutely the standard in ads, where before they would be like, your forearms, your face. And then they were like, your forearms, your face, your armpits. Then it just became all of it, shave it all. And then if I remember correctly, it was like the 80s when it really started to get like, and the pubes, we do those too. But it is a marketing thing. Just like diamonds. It is we would like to sell you this, therefore you should do that. And just like diamonds, It's a take it or leave it thing nowadays. If you want to shave, shave. If you don't want to shave, don't shave. If you're not sure, try it out. Like, I was an armpit shaver until I gave myself like 4 months of quarantine to not screw with it. And eventually I was just like, you know what? I like how it looks. I like how it feels. Makes me happy. Everything else is a work thing. Which brings us to our latest point. Work versus personal. It's the almighty dollar versus everything else. Because if it was just me, I don't know how much I would trim or shave or make marketable. Because yes, body hair can be a marketable niche. Keyword, niche, smaller area. Always. Less hair, marketable to more people. The minute you have hair, you start to edge out the people to whom hair is an absolute no. Those customers drop. The people to whom a little bit of hair is acceptable are still on. But okay, now you grow more hair. Let's say armpit and pubic. The maybe hair people, they're gone. But then you get this little extra quadrant of, but I like all the hair. But the thing is, these people are not as many as these people. Genuinely do not believe that the niche will ever be as marketable as the mainstream. So as an adult content performer, you have to strike the balance. I am in a weird gray zone because I have just enough hair to be not hairless, but not enough hair to be like hairy. So it's weird, but it's interesting. Now see, the funny thing is, because I am only one speck in one corner of a massive industry, I can't give an overarching opinion on body hair at all. Like, I know what works for me, which is to accept the armpit hair as this is what I need to feel comfortable in my body making the content I make. And also recognize that for me, no hair would be more profitable. For other people, though, going full hairy is absolutely more profitable to them than trying to make it in the broad sea of mainstream presentation. Comes down to big fish, little pond, little fish, big pond. I'm in a puddle. Yeah. I am a grumpy frog in a pothole, and I'm okay with that. So, yeah, that's what I've got. That is my Ko-Fi commissioned ramble on body hair. It's not the same as my last talk, but I think it's a good talk nonetheless. So, as always, if you would like to see more of me and my fuzzy armpits everywhere they exist online, beacons.ai/Lillabunt. Everything is on there. If you would like to toss me $3 or more, that's on ko-fi.com/Lily O'Reilly. If you're on Ko-Fi and you've connected your Discord to Ko-Fi and you support me monthly or just one-off, you can go to my Discord, linked on the beacons, and you will get a special Ko-Fi supporter role that comes with some perks like exclusive video chat time with me and the other Ko-Fi supporters. And my Discord also has like some neat chat areas, and I sell content there that you can't find anywhere else, and just nifty stuff like that. So yeah, go forth, be good to each other, be good to yourselves, make your own decisions on body hair. Have a nice day. I'll be back later. Bye guys.